Hello. Diego, what's up, man? Thanks for hosting. It's a new username. Actually, let's pull this up. After I got let me see if I can get it to work. It's a maybe. I didn't get a chance to actually figure out if it was working, so I gotta double check that. Maybe. I'm sorry. I know I said I would check it out. Things have been so busy with the kids. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Let's see. How do I edit this? Okay, let's turn this on. Playlist muted. Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I want to play more PUBG. It's just like I haven't had a chance to get the whole thing set. I have like the whole studio set up in a different way for music production right now. I know, and that's whack. That's a terrible excuse, and I'm sorry, dude. So let's drop the ball. Is that what that is? And I'm going to be doing a TED Talk at 9 Central. I'm using Guitar Rig today, and I don't love the tone. Hold on. I feel like the presence needs to be higher. Maybe the treble too. That sounds better. Diego, why do you have a new username? Something glitched, huh? Actually got to get a text box in here. Where is that? How can I add that? How do I change? I guess I'll change it when I do the TED Talk, when I get it ready. Right in the way, isn't it? I'll put it there. Have you been playing a lot of PUBG Mobile lately, though? Has it been fun in any way? I mean, I miss it in a little bit, but I also don't really miss it. I mean, everyone's really good at the game. There's like weird, what's it called? There's like all those weird like events that are happening now, right? What's like the new one? It's like the 3-year anniversary. I mean, I can't believe the game's been out for 3 years. That's crazy to think about. It's an old game. So, I know Yo. JT, my guy. What's going on? This is actually the third stream? Or maybe the fourth stream? I started last week, though. But I didn't post about it on IG until today. Because I was like, the last three streams were just like figuring out where all the wires were. Like, I packed everything up. So I had to unpack everything and, go back on the forums to figure out, like, how does this, how to set up certain things. So it feels good to be back, though. I'll tell you that much. Feels real good. I mean, it feels pretty good. I missed it. I miss streaming. It's a fun way to, not pass the time. It's a fun way to interact with people, to, talk to people and tell people what I think about things. Good to be back, man. You been gaming? You been lifting? What's the workout routine like? What are you looking at right now? Athlean X? I'm not familiar with that. What is that one like? Oh, yeah, all good. Yeah, Diego, Karakin's coming, right? No more Vikendi, which is fine. I never liked Vikendi. I gotta change the title on this Facebook thing because people are gonna be like, what's he even talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about dads, bro. We're gonna be talking about dads. We're gonna be talking about what they advice for new dads. 9 p.m. Central. Big time TED Talk. There we go. Yeah, okay, that works. There we go. Okay, that's gonna make it. Loop. I don't want to loop. Okay. What do we got? I got 7 minutes. 7 minutes, and then all the knowledge is coming. I might wait for more people who are actual dads to be on the stream, except for just me and you, Diego. Unless if there's any other dads in the stream, just write in the comment box just so I know you're waiting for that. Because otherwise I'll just keep waiting. I need my alertness, I need my energy, I need my mindset. A ranked game, man. For James. I wonder what he's playing. I wonder if he's still playing Apex. It's like right in the shot. Let's move that. We'll move it right. Oh, I shouldn't put it over my keyboard. All the way over there. Okay, everyone, come one, come all. Let's see. I wonder how long I should wait to see if people are coming, right? I mean, I put out the IG post like 45 minutes ago. Like, I haven't been doing any promo on it, so I'm expecting to do this one to like 2 to 3 people. This TED Talk. And there's anything wrong with that. Happy to be here. Thrilled to be here, even. But, you know, I guess my only question is, how long should I wait until people are coming? Right? Let me write... Where's TED Talk? TED Talk. This one? There we go. Hold on. Make sure that's the right visual here. Okay, everyone can see that. Okay. Okay, so everyone can see that. Great. Hold on 1 second. Just gonna have to put the title on the top and we'll get going. Well, maybe we won't get going, but we'll get something. Add. What are we doing here? Image, color, text. Text. Add new source. TED Talk. Add source. Top advice for new dads. Okay, font size. Let's make it big. What's the date? Anyone? What are we at? March 24th? Okay. 3/24. Okay, done. Let's put it here. Here. Put it right there. Nice and official looking. Oh, and this is my old Super Danger Gaming one. I was supposed to change that out. That's all good. There. Okay. A couple more minutes and we'll get there. Playlist is going. Playlist is going. Okay. We'll wait for... I think it's just me and Diego talking to Diego, who has I don't think has any kids. So we'll wait until the relevant audience gets here. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's yeah. You're a dad, all right. Yeah, absolutely, my guy. I need to get a different mic. I need to get a mic that connects to the stand, so it just like goes right here. Because otherwise, I'm blocking the face. You got 3 kids and they're annoying. No way, you have 3 kids. What? I think aren't you in 8th grade or 9th grade? Yeah. We'll wait. We'll wait a couple more minutes here for this to start. Just to get going. Actually, we'll cut a promo real quick right now. How do I do this? Sound effects. Oh, browser effects. Going live now. Free advice for the top dad in your life, which is probably you, right? You don't have to listen to that again. Twitch.tv/Super Danger Studios. Danger Studios. Okay. Hey, it's me, Top Mom. Top Mom is here. I'm in 6th, LMAO. How do I add that to my... I can't add that to my Facebook stories, can I? Does that save even in my stories? I don't think so. Oh well, maybe I'll change that later. You are Dad, Diego? Come on. No way. You're no way. That can't be. That can't. There's no way. Are you doing IG Live? Oh yeah, I should do IG Live. Okay, I'll just set it up. I forgot about that. Okay, so how do I do this? No. IG Live. Details. Add a title. Top advice for new dads. Okay. Do I just like this? Yeah, we can do that. I don't know if they can hear, but we'll see. Yeah, 1 million kids. Yeah. For sure. We'll see if everyone on IG Live can hear me. Actually, Nina, can you sign into IG Live and see if the audio, not the audio is going to do it, just if you can hear me because it's just going through the phone. I can't believe how many people are joining on IG Live. That's hilarious. Hey guys. So people do that. Okay. Great. So for everyone on Instagram, if you want to see like the PowerPoint slides that I have for this, you can go to Facebook or Twitch or my YouTube, and Super Danger Studios is the username. So you can see what I'm talking about, but you'll get the idea because I'm gonna walk you right through this thing. And the point of today's TED Talk, the key, the takeaways for tonight's TED Talk is advice for new dads. So this is just not for dads, right? This can be for anyone who's in a committed relationship, because we're gonna go over all sorts of stuff. Or if you're thinking about becoming a dad. So, very, very worthwhile information. And that's what we're getting into. And you guys can't hear the background music. Just imagine cool background music on IG. I've never done IG Live before, so. All right. Page 1. Step 1. Pull it up. Okay. All right, first off, congrats on being a new dad. It's tough being a new dad. It's a big deal, and a lot of people are. Some might discount it, and you might discount it to yourself. Don't discount it. It's a big deal, but at the same time, it's been done before, so it's not. I don't want to say it's not rocket science, because people say that about a lot of stuff that is actually quite difficult. But it's not a mystery on how to be a good dad, and like everyone kind of instinctively knows how to become a good dad. It's just hard to put into action because no one prepares you for like the weird little traps that people have. So this is what we're gonna go through. So your new title, when you're a new dad, your title's not dad anymore. All right, that's number one thing to remember. Your new title in your job hierarchy, like in your family, it's VP of Operations. Okay, and your goal as the new VP of Ops is to keep the whole thing running smoothly. So when I mean the whole thing, I mean your family unit. Everything's got to run smooth now, because you're the only one that actually has the bandwidth and the wherewithal to get things to run smoothly, right? Mom just had a baby, so she's recovering. Baby is a baby, so baby can't do things. So you're the only one left. Everything's falling on you. So a way to think about that in a way that doesn't make you fall into like a pity party or resent things is to think of it dispassionately, in that it's a job. You got a promotion. Before, you were kind of like like biz dev guy, right? Having fun, whatever, taking clients out for drinks. Now you got promoted, and now you're VP of operations, which is great. It's a great title. You want that title in your life, but it comes with more responsibility, and that's okay because you can handle it. That's why you're a dad. I'm assuming you wanted this and you wanted to be in this position. Okay, moving on. So, first thing, even before your dad, right? Even before baby comes, you gotta lay the groundwork with your wife, right? Or your, if you're not married, let's call it. I'm just gonna use the word wife because if I'm married, it's easy for me to understand that way. But if you're not married, you understand, right? The woman who's carrying the child. So what do you do during this pregnancy period? It's an important period because you're essentially prepping, right? You got a big project coming up. That project is a baby. And you got to prepare for this project. So it's pre-production for your big event. Number one, go over your expectations of what life will be like with the new baby, right? So what's the schedule going to be? Who's responsible for what? Right? Go over these things with your wife because you might be surprised at what they expect, and they might be surprised about what you expect. And don't say like, hey, when we leave this conversation, that's it. It's etched in stone. Say like, let's, especially if things get hot and you start talking and things get a little heated, dial it back. Say like, hey, like I don't want to get in an argument. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about this when we've had some time to think about it. Great. And so, you want to though have expectations, and then you also want to be flexible about it because also once the baby gets here, it like changes everything. And what you think would work might not work. But at least going into it, and here's why you got to get them to both have like, why you and your wife got to bro down on this. Because when you and your wife are seeing eye to eye on it, you form a bond. She's not thinking I'm in this alone. You're not thinking whatever you're thinking. The idea is that you both are going to solve or go into this journey, if you want to call it that, as teammates. You're going to do it. You can, and you want that mentality going in. Number two, your wife's body's going to change. Obviously, don't comment on how she looks. Just don't do it. She'll probably take it the wrong way, or you will probably say the wrong thing, right? Like you might think you're giving her a compliment. You might think you're a charming guy, but it's different when your wife's pregnant. So just the safest way to do it is to not. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but if you want to get into an argument with your wife, be my guest. Comment on how she looks. And so the safe thing, actually the even safer thing to do it is to say, you look beautiful, right? And that she'll probably appreciate that. I'd be shocked if she didn't. But don't overdo it. Don't constantly say, oh, you're so beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. If she's like, no, I feel, gross right now. Like, okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, I love the way you look. And end it. Don't overdo it. Don't rub it in. Because she'll be like, why are you constantly saying this? Especially if you don't call your wife beautiful all the time. In which case I would say you probably should step it up. But the idea is that you want to keep her supplied with positive vibes. Your body's not changing dramatically, but hers is, right? So you have to, you can let her know that, like, don't worry, I'm here for you, in just subtle ways like that. And again, the whole reason we're doing this, you're trying to keep things nice and smooth, keep her calm and confident throughout the pregnancy period, so that when the baby does arrive, you've built a lot of trust and goodwill going into that. And then next thing, be prepared for slight changes in her mood, right? Like she might, her mood might change quickly, right? Hormones change a lot during pregnancy, and her mood might change in ways that you had not seen prior to this. So just be prepared. Don't take it personal and ride the wave. Again, VP of Ops, you're just riding that wave, trying to make it through. And then, especially in the last trimester, it can be quite painful for her and her body, like her feet will probably get swollen. And her body, again, is changing at a dramatic pace. So you got to just be aware of that. And I'm not saying you aren't aware. You're not aware in like the scientific sense, right? You're not. It's not like I know that my wife is going to grow a baby inside her, right? But you're also not thinking like, oh, like I didn't think that like her body is changing and she has no control over that. It's like things are happening to her. And so if you kind of can understand that, so if you've ever lost your hair, or if you've ever, I don't know, had some sort of medical problem, think about, I'm not saying a baby's a medical problem. What I'm saying is like there's something that when things are changing outside of your control, it can cause anxiety in someone. So just be aware of that, especially if there's pain involved. So just try to keep her comfortable, give her some water, give her some food, try to just be supportive. I think, again, we're hoping that you do this because you're in love with her, but secondarily, it's the smart thing to do because you want your wife to feel confident going into the birthing process. Next, medical stuff. There's all sorts of like weird medical stuff out there, and I think actually the easiest way is just hire someone who's an expert in it. So people are like, oh, should you get a doula? I'm like, yeah, get a doula. Get a doula. I think you should get a doula. So if for those of you who don't know, a doula is someone who can assist with the birthing process. So why would you want a doula? Is the dad says. I'm like, because the doula is a third party, right? And it's a unbiased third party. And it's likely that your wife will form some sort of relationship with the doula. I think almost all doulas are female, right? So she'll have a bond with it. And this woman has also been through a birthing process probably thousands of times before. So you want someone there who's an expert, especially if you're a first-time dad. You haven't seen what happens. You don't know what weird questions the doctor's going to ask you. And this doula's whole job is that. So if you were a smart VP of operations and you had a new like product line launching, you would probably launch, or a new supply chain you got to take care of. You probably hire someone to help you manage that, right? So again, you're the smart VP of ops in your family business, right? So now you have to hire someone to help you with this process. If you have the money, you should do it. I think you're going to be surprised at how amazing it is. Number two, it's also good to have another opinion in a room because it's not you versus your wife. If you guys are disagreeing on like medical procedures or what to do, like where do we park when you're pregnant or when you're about to give birth, like all these things, these operational problems, you don't want it to be just you versus your wife. The doula can also be a mediator if you guys are arguing a lot, and I would say try to work on that leading up to the birth. Argue less if you can. And that's why they're like really helpful. It's like almost like having an administrative assistant, but that is like just for like that weekend. Like if, when we had a doula for our first son's birth, like we had been up for a long time, and the doula's like, hey, like this, I'll hang out with your wife. You go get some dinner. Like you're gonna need some energy soon. Like I hadn't eaten, I don't know, like 10 hours or something, which isn't that long. But when you're feeling the tension, you're feeling the stress. Like 10 hours is a long time to go without food. So the doula can be there to like make sure your wife feels supported and calm, and you can go get some terrible food from the hospital cafeteria. There's no hospital in the world that serves good food, so just get that through your head now. So maybe bring your own food if you can, if you really are dying for good food. And then next, so like people are gonna give you books, and they mean well, but I'm not gonna read 300 pages on birthing, like. But there are things that you can. So I would say like, don't buy books, especially a lot of it's outdated, right? It's stuff that boomers wanted you read and wanted you to read. So it's easy to go to actually IG accounts like parenting Instagram accounts. And if you have any questions on that, just follow my wife and she'll tell you all the accounts to follow. She's really knowledgeable on that stuff. And it'll be really helpful. And just be open-minded with it because it's probably gonna be stuff that you hadn't thought about before and stuff that you are unfamiliar with, and so it's gonna be new kinds of information from a different point of view. So prime yourself to be open-minded so that you'll actually absorb the information instead of being like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, what the hell do you know? It's you're a new dad, so assume you know. I mean, you know nothing, so go into that knowing that you know nothing. And then lastly, baby classes. Yes, I'm not because they're particularly helpful. They might be helpful. They might not. The newborn choking one is good, although it might make you think that babies are constantly choking everywhere, but because they're not. But if your wife wants to go to a class, yes, go with the class. Go with her if you can, if you're able, or like try to rearrange work things. Your wife's only gonna be pregnant, maybe like less than 10 times in her life, probably only 1 to 2 times in her life. You can be supportive during these pregnancies. You can reschedule a meeting, right? it's important that it's important your wife feels supported during this process. You're trying to build that bond going into this, especially for the first time. And like what? It's 45 minutes. You get to sit down with a fake baby and practice fake CPR on a fake baby. It's you can do that, and if it makes your wife feel better, just do it. It's easy. Next. Oops, I skipped a page on the stream. Sorry. Getting the home ready. So, where are you going to change diapers? This is a big problem. And I didn't realize how big of a problem this was until we had our second kid. You gotta, this is actually the most important thing, is where do you change diapers? Have a big space. Make it look nice, because you're gonna be here a lot, right? The first 6 months, you're gonna be changing diapers nonstop. And not that it's a bad thing, but if the place that you're in a lot is cluttered or isn't made for that, or is uncomfortable, or is not the right height, you're bending over too much, all of these little things will make it harder for you to change a diaper, which makes it harder to manage the baby process. And as dad, you're probably gonna be changing more diapers at night than mom, because mom's gonna be breastfeeding and you're gonna be diaper guy, right? So as diaper guy, make sure that your workstation, right? Think of it that way. Make sure your workstation is clear and easy to work on. And then make it look nice too. Don't make it like a dumpy kind of thing. Make it look nice so that it's calm for you to look at, because you're gonna be there in the middle of the night and you're gonna be stressed. So you want it to come in some kind of zen moment. Furniture and stuff. So for furniture, I guess this is just a home goods thing, right? Make your home look nice, right? Getting ready for the baby. It's a really good investment to just have a clean and organized home, because it will pay dividends for you as, again, you don't notice your calm home when you're chill, but when you're anxious and stressed, which you will be during the first the newborn phase, having a calm, nice, clean home is good for you. So try to prep that ahead of time. So if there's any last minute home projects, finish them before the baby gets there. And then, where are you gonna sleep, Dad? Figure this out with mom, what you think you're gonna be doing, because after the baby gets there, it's gonna be tough to do planning, right? Because you're just gonna be in survival mode. So sleep schedule. Who's sleeping where? Where are you gonna sleep in bed with baby and mom? Is baby gonna be co-sleeping with you? That's what we do. It works really well. Or are you gonna have the baby in a bassinet or whatever it is? But are you allowed? Do you snore? Are you gonna keep baby up? Are you gonna keep mom up? Not good. Again, you're VP of Ops, so your whole goal is to get the operations moving smoothly. So if you snore, if you move around a lot, if you fart in your sleep and it's awful, sleep somewhere else just for a couple months. Sleep on the couch, sleep outside on a blow up on an air mattress, or whatever it is. Whatever you need to do to make it so that nighttime is a good time for mom and baby, try to do it. And then also try to figure out, when are you going to get your sleep? Let's say you're up all night with baby, which can happen. When are you going to try to sneak in your sleep? Is it on weekends? Is it if you work from home? Is can you sleep through lunch? How much paternity leave do you have with your company where you work? Try to figure this out ahead of time, and go over it with your wife and say hey, we need to is this cool? Is this sleep schedule? Do you think this will work? If you can get 5 to 6 hours a night, that's a really good thing. Maybe not all in one sitting, but across the course of a day. And then lastly, sleep deprivation. Everyone's oh yeah, sleep deprivation, dude. I remember it was in college. I'm yeah, you were 20 then, and you're not 20 now, and it's a little different, because pulling an all-nighter when you're doing lines of Adderall off your desk is a little different than being up all night because your baby needs to feed every 45 minutes and you're changing diapers all the time. So just so you know, it's not the same thing. You might think it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. And there's a big mentality shift that actually makes it difficult. It's this thing where you got to be quick and you got to be careful. So it's kind of like defusing a bomb, right? So scenario, right? Let's go hypothetical. 2:30 a.m. Baby's hungry. Baby wakes up. Mom says, "Hey, baby has a dirty diaper. Got to change it. Great. That comes down to you, which is great. This is your time to shine. You grab the baby. You get the baby, and you're tired, right? So imagine you haven't been getting good sleep for 3 weeks. So you're tired. Your wit's end, right? You're barely holding on. You get baby to the changing station, which hopefully isn't too far because you thought about where you're going to change diapers. So maybe it's in the same room, which is great. You turn on the light, and the longer you have your baby on the baby changing station, the more likely the baby will stay awake, right? So especially if your baby doesn't like the diaper being changed. So you got to be quick, but you also got to be careful, and you have to be delicate and compassionate because your baby will respond to like your vibe. So if you're like a dickhead about it and you're like changing the diaper in an angry way, your baby will pick up on that. So just try to be calm. Again, you're Keanu Reeves and you're defusing a bomb on a bus, right? Don't cross any wire. Just be nice and calm. Get through as quickly and as calmly as possible. And that's, I'm not saying, I mean, it's obvious when I say it, right? Like, oh, duh, Alex. But what I'm saying is, get that into your mindset before the baby gets there. Like, just try to train that into your head. Like, you got to be quick and careful with the diapers. Because you keep them up too long, they'll stay up all night. And then the last thing about sleep deprivation is don't be a hero. If you feel like God, I'm dying, ask your like, hey, I need like 45 minutes, just a real quick nap. When can I get that today? Again, be open. Just communicate with your wife. And I'm hopeful that you have a good communication style with your wife at this time. So if you do, great, you can capitalize on it. But if you don't, maybe you can start working on it now because you're going to need to communicate to get through this thing smoothly. Next slide. And for all of you on IG, thanks for stopping by. If you want to see what slides I'm talking about, you can go to my Twitch or YouTube or even my Facebook page. Super Dangerous Studios is the username. So, number 4. Yay, you're a dad. Congrats. And today, so I'm talking about top advice for new dads. So, in case you're like, what's he talking about? That's what I'm talking about. So, here's a new order of operations for your household, okay? It goes baby, mom, you. Okay? So, in terms of like who gets to eat first? Baby, mom, you. And if you know that going into it, that means you're going to be able to handle that better. Perhaps you grew up in a situation that you always got what you wanted. Now will be a time that you don't. And that's okay, and that's going to have to happen. Again, you're the only one who can keep this train moving, right? Baby's a baby. Baby can't do anything, right? Mom just had a baby. She needs to focus on the baby. So what are you focused on? You're focused on making situations so that baby and mom can get what they need. So if they're hungry, they have to eat. If they're tired, you have to let them sleep. And then that means also pay attention to your wife's energy levels, because your wife might be so focused on the baby that she forgets that she is exhausted too. So if you're talking to any like when you're going into your what are those called? The checkups when your wife's pregnant, right? They'll talk to you something about baby blues. Baby blues is when you can get postpartum depression because of the crazy hormone swings that for women after they give birth. And so if you notice your wife she looks upset or sad or withdrawn, you gotta jump in. You gotta be assertive and get in there. Say, hey, let me take baby for an hour, catch up on sleep, or let me get you some food and some water or whatever you need. You need mom to be able to give what she needs to baby. Again, like your job to see these things. And again, because you're VP of operations, you can spot these things, right? And that's why you need to keep thinking of that title. Number 2, if your baby's crying, try these 3 things. These 3 simple hacks, right? The baby industry hates them for this. I'm joking, but really it's you'll forget the 3 obvious things to do for your kid when your kid's crying, because you'll be losing your mind, like I was for so long. Change your diaper. I don't know how many times I forgot to do that. I literally forgot. I'm like, oh wait, I need to change his diaper. And sometimes it's not obvious. Sometimes they haven't, it doesn't smell. Or sometimes it's small enough that like it doesn't even change the color on the diaper. It's like you have no idea. So just if your baby's crying, just instinctively. Change that diaper. Then give it to mom. And then he needs the nurse or she needs the nurse. And then if that doesn't work, pick up and walk around. Maybe they just didn't like, maybe their arm fell asleep because they were like lying on it the wrong way. Again, they're babies, they're crying, and they only really need 3 things. They're tired, they're hungry, or they're wet. And you'll forget in the middle of the night. So what you can do is just write these 3 things down on a Post-it note. Bam. Put it on top of, where your changing station is, or put it at your desk, put it wherever you need to see it. Just to remind yourself, did I do these 3 things? And if your baby doesn't calm down after those 3 things, then it's something that's atypical, right? 99% of babies, that's what it's going to solve. And then the last thing, you might feel like a stranger in your own home. I don't think a lot of dads are prepared for this. Again, especially if they're, I'm not going to go into like a psychoanalysis of what men feel, but you might feel like a stranger in your own home, and it can be kind of just, it can be jarring. Your mom, or the mom rather, not your mom, your wife will have a better connection with your baby for obvious reasons and various reasons. 1, because of the breastfeeding, if you're breastfeeding, but 2, because your mom got to know the baby as the baby grew inside her, and then 3, because the baby will know the mom's scent too. So there's all sorts of stuff that happens there, like between the hormones and all that. You have none of that. You're like, and also mom is likely much more softer than you, right? Men are have a lot of sharp angles on their body, like their shoulders are sharper. They're not soft like a mom. And so baby might be like, why are you holding me like that? And that's okay, because it's very common. So, but let's just go through some of these things though. You might be doing something wrong, right? Let's always look inward first. So baby might not like you at first because you might not be holding your baby correctly. What can I practice on? Let's practice with my shaker bottle, right? So a lot of people, when they have their baby, right? And they do like this when they try to like shake their baby not like shake the baby, but to calm their baby down. They do this like weird thing, like they're like rubbing a lamp. And no, you want it to be a smooth motion, right? So like think of doing like figure 8s sideways, right? That's what you want. Not like literally, actually think of it like, don't shake them like a protein shaker. Shake them like you're like got like a big jug of water, right? You're just trying to swish the water back and forth. Also, just remember to support the baby's head. I see so many dads with like they're not supporting the head the right way, and it's painful for the baby. Also, are you looking at your baby or are you looking at your phone? It's kind of hard to calm your baby down if you're scrolling the ESPN app. So pay attention to your baby if your baby's crying. If your baby's not crying, you're all good. If your baby's sleeping, yeah, look at your phone. Like you don't have to do anything. Just make sure you don't disrupt the baby's sleeping. And also, are you engaging with your baby? So maybe your baby just wants to see your face. So make sure you give them a lot of eye contact. Babies are big on that. I know it sounds weird that babies like to be looked at, but they do. So look at your baby and play with them, talk to them. They love to be talked to. Also, your beard, this is a bummer for guys who really love their beard. Your beard might be too rough for the baby, especially if you guys who have really coarse hair. I have, you can see soft beard, nice soft beard. But some of you might have really coarse hair. And so your baby is not going to like that. So just be aware of these things. And so I've been like not downplaying, but I've gone through like a laundry list of things like, wow, it's like I don't know if I want to be a dad. But there are great things about being a dad. But having an immediate connection with your baby is not one of them, unfortunately. Okay, next. Only 2 more slides, I think. Be flexible. Responsibilities might change between you and your wife as you go through this process. And again, that's okay. Life is dynamic. Life is going to throw you some curveballs. So as long as you and your wife have good communication style, you're not keeping points, you're not trying to get one over on each other, and keep things smooth, you'll be able to adapt and adjust to these things, okay? As long as you tell each other, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'd like to do, what are your thoughts? Don't be a jerk about it. Just if you can talk openly about it without any assumptions, like you can get through these things. So, late for an event, it's like you're going to someone's birthday party, but like it took a little bit longer because baby went to the bathroom or like had a diaper moment right as you were about to load them into the car, it's okay. You don't have to be upset about that. Again, your baby has no idea where you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to go. So just get that into your head before the baby gets there, and you won't be stressed. Like, we got to get there. It's like the hors d'oeuvres are being passed. It's okay. You can get hors d'oeuvres next time. And then also sunk cost fallacy. I'm sure so many of you are aware of it as it goes around the internet all the time when other people want to tell you what to do. But so I'm going to use it now. Sunk cost fallacy. Let's say you buy tickets for the zoo, and it costs you whatever $60. It's a cheap zoo, right? And your baby gets tired, and now your wife's tired, but you want to make sure you get the value out of the tickets, get your money's worth. Like no. Like if your baby and your wife are calling it quits, it's done. The thing is done. Like you're not getting value if the only one enjoying it is you, and you might not even be enjoying it. What if you're tired too? It's like, it's okay. Like you spent money on something, you only went halfway through, or you rented a movie. It's like, don't watch a movie you don't like. Don't finish reading a book that you don't like. Don't stay at things and events that your family isn't enjoying. But you're going to think like, I need to get value out of this. We never used that baby carrier. It's like, who cares? It's okay. Just, you didn't end up using it. You got to let it go. And then lastly, this one was a big one for me because I love to eat. I'm a big fan of eating. But your meals are going to be truncated significantly. So the goal always for me, especially in the first 3 months, is get one really good bite out of your meal. And then the rest, I would consider anything after that a bonus. If I can get one just great bite out of whatever, hamburger, I'll be happy. And if you can adjust what your expectations are for what you're going to be getting out of your life, then you'll be in a good spot. Okay, last slide. The investment. So again, why am I saying, hey, do all these things? Like it sounds like a lot of work. I'm like, it is a lot of work. You're raising your child. So, but the upside is, and a privilege is after this, is that you'll be the most influential man in your child's life, right? Everyone, and you ask anyone, like, hey, what's your relationship like with your father? It almost always will boil down to, I just want his approval, right? I mean, it's so now think of, you're going to be that guy that your child is going to be, God, I really want him to approve the way I do things. That's a huge privilege and opportunity. And so building these, I guess, patterns in you so you can ensure that your wife and your child grow up in a situation where your wife trusts you and has good communication with you as your child grows up. That's what you want, right? You want it to be vindictive. You don't want it to be like you versus your wife for things. You want to be on the same team. And this is a privilege and an opportunity also to be the best version of yourself for your child, right? If you can't get your act together for your kid, like I don't know what in the world could get you to motivate you to be a better version of yourself. And I'm not trying to be rude about it. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just like, if having a kid is not reason enough to be, imbue self-sacrifice, like I don't know I don't know what book you could read or what music you could listen to make you feel that way, right? And then lastly, it's about mimetics too and modeling. You want to get into these rituals of sacrifice and having a hierarchy of values for yourself, because these are the stories that your wife will tell your child about you when they were first born. Do you want the stories told about you to be, he was really helpful, he always put us first? Or do you want it to be, my dad was really selfish and always thought about his sports betting app for me? And that's the story that's going to be told about you. So it's like, what do you want it to be? I mean, it's pretty important for how your family thinks of you and if they respect you. And if you do these things, then I'm not saying like, do what I do and they'll respect you. I'm saying just do these things that are obvious that everyone will be agreeing with me on, and they'll probably respect you. And that's what you want. You want your family to respect you because you're sacrificing for them. You're there for them. You're supporting them. You're the pillar for them. They need you. They're counting on you to be responsible and make good decisions, and to be dispassionate, and to not take things personally, and to show them what it's like to do, for self-sacrifice. And if you can model that accurately, then your children will grow up understanding this is what it takes to be a good dad. And your wife will understand. They'll say like, well, your father is a really good man. That's what you want said about you if you're at work or wherever you are, right? You want the story told about you is that you're a good man and that respect your father, because it's not just, oh, he stayed up late for you. It's like he listened to his wife's needs, to his baby's needs. He put their needs ahead of his, in a reasonable manner, without destroying himself, of course. I'm not saying don't pay attention to what you want to, but I'm saying you can put pause on some things, and definitely put pause on the frivolous things that don't matter to you. So these are all the things you have to think about. Your life is going to change. I'm sure you're aware of that, but you might have not thought how it's going to change, and you might have not thought why changing it will be a good thing. So hopefully this was helpful to you, and if there's any questions, happy to go over them now. And again, everyone that stopped by on IG Live, appreciate it. I gotta figure out how to connect like the background music and all the overlay. I don't know is there even a way to do that on IG Live? This is my first Instagram Live, so. Okay. Any questions? Because I have so many opinions. No questions. How do we know we were ready for baby number 2? Good question. I've always wanted a lot of kids, so it was really up to Nina, to be honest. I'm not the one who has to birth the child, so so it was up to Nina. But I knew that the older I get, the harder it's going to be just physically. That's the other thing about raising kids is that it's tiring. It's a lot of work. I mean, sleep deprivation alone. So the younger you are, the easier it's going to be physically. I saw other people having kids. I was like, I could probably do that. I guess for the second kid. I guess you'll never really know. So it's if you love kids and you want kids, you should have more kids. Financially, you'll be able to figure it out. Like they might not get the best toys and the best clothes, but they'll get good. You know what I mean? It's like you'll be able to support them. Likely, you'll be surprised at what you can also pull back. I mean, you should go through like all your subscriptions, like your Spotify subscription, your Netflix. Like you can pull all that back for 6 months if there's like financial hardships. There's all sorts of adjustments you can make to your life too. So, if it's financial, I think there's ways around that if you just look at what you're really spending money on. Reusable cloth diapers. My sister was big into them. I've never used them, but I think they're. If you don't mind, just hand washing soiled things, I think it's great. One, it saves you a ton of money. It's better for the environment. There's less plastic also on your baby, which some studies are coming out about that now too, about like BPA and all this kind of stuff that they put in diapers. So if you can do it, but I understand it's not everyone has the ability to do that. But if you can, yeah, I mean it changes the process a little bit about how you change diapers. But yeah, I think if you can do it. We didn't do any genetic testing at all. We were just, as long as we knew that the baby was healthy, but we didn't do any genetic testing. We just wanted to feed our baby. We weren't going to make any decisions based on that. Vince, how are they different? The biggest difference, Vince? Jesse loves getting his diaper changed. Rocky hated it. Oh, he couldn't stand it. I would put him on a change day. He'd be like, no. He'd just screaming, crying. Just couldn't. As soon as I put Jesse down, he's so happy. He's thrilled. Stops crying immediately. It's like and also the other difference is that Jesse doesn't like being wet at all, and Rocky would not sitting in his own urine all day, but he would go a long time without having to be upset about changing his diaper. Oh yeah, that's a big one. So the difference between kids for well, I gotta double check if there's more questions back here. New Balances. Oh gosh. Okay. So my single friends, I've been trying to keep up with them, and I guess so. This is to all my single friends who are watching this. It's it's weird. Like single friends feel like they need to pull back once you're married and have kids, and that's something that, like, I guess as a married dad now, right? I will say no to things. I can't come out to things. That doesn't mean I don't want to be invited to things, though. I like being invited to things. I like to know that I'm being thought of. I can probably make it to 10% of what I was able to make it to before. Maybe even less than that. But I still want to be invited. So that's my advice to all the single friends out there. If your friends, or single people that are listening, if your friends are having kids, still invite them to stuff. Still reach out to them. They won't go to the bar with you, okay? They're not going to, like, rip shots. But, like, still invite them to fun things. You get, like, daytime stuff, right? Or, even better, you can do the drinking at their house. Find out, like, hey, when's nap time? Maybe I'll come over then. Or say, would you like me to come to meet, like, also meet your friends' children? That's always a nice thing to do. But just try to keep incorporating them. And then, so for the married friends, be prepared for a significant drop-off in social invites. I mean, we're talking, like, you're getting text messages all the time to, like, no one reaches out. And it's unfortunate. And you'll make more friends hopefully you make friends with other parents. Sometimes you don't, though, just because of how busy you are as a parent. So it depends on how much you want to change and how much you want to go out. You're probably gonna have to make the effort, though, as the parent, as the dad or mom, right? You'll have to be the one reaching out to your single friends who are going on all the time. Hey, can I go out with you guys? And they might even say, like, really? You sure? Like, shut up, dude. Like, yes, I want to go out. I just can't go out I just think about what my life was like when I was single to what my life was like now. It's like, yeah, they have no idea. I had no idea. It's a different world, and the responsibilities are way different. So there's nothing. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with your single friends, of course, but it's really hard for them to comprehend how different your life is after you have a kid. Haven't been invited since 1967. Exactly. Feels like a really long time when people invite you out. It's weird, and it's too bad. But it's not personal. It's just that they don't. Single friends, like, should I reach out? They have no idea. Like, I don't even know if they want me to reach out. They probably don't want to hang out with a degenerate like me, single person. I'm kidding. But when you're single, you think, like, they probably don't want to hear from me. They're more interested in their kid, and that's true. Like, I am more interested in my kid than my friends, but that doesn't mean I don't crave, camaraderie with my homies, right? I mean, I make it a point to call my friends constantly. They don't really pick up very often, but I'm calling them nonstop. Home birth or hospital? I've only done hospital. I would love to do a home birth because you're already at home. The hardest part about the hospital birth is you got to get to the hospital, you got to find parking, you got to sign in, you got to do all these things. So if you have the resources to do a home birth, like if you got that, if your insurance plan covers that, or if you have the cash flow to make that work, I would prefer to be at home because I like my bed. I know where my food is. I know where the good Wi-Fi signal areas are. Right? That's what I would want. But if not, try to find a hospital where the vibe is nice. And so a lot of people, we had our first birth. I don't know how many are from Chicago, but we had our first birth at Prentice. And, like, everyone talks like, oh, Prentice, great. Prentice is great. I didn't like it. They were rude. So, the view's great, but it's like, I'm not really looking out the window, right? I'm kind of, there's other things happening that require my attention. So, oh, look at that view. As Nina's, like, in the throes of labor. Oh, babe, look. Hey, hold on. Could did you look right? Oh wow. So find out, but the I can't remember the name of the second one. Great hospital, because they were so nice, and that's a big deal. It's a huge, emotional event for you. You want to look back on it. You're gonna, and people are always going to ask you too. So they're going to ask you your birth story. You're going to tell that like maybe 500 times. How was your birth? What was it like? What was it? You don't want to say, oh, we hated our hospital, because then everyone's like, oh God, I got to hear a story about someone doesn't like something. It's much better to hear a story about we loved it. We loved the hospital. We loved our doctor. We loved the nurses. So if you want to tell that good feel-good story, go to a hospital where they're nice to you. Not one that like seems prestigious. Go to the one where they have a good track record and they're nice. And those two usually go hand in hand, because being nice to the patients usually translates to understanding what is best for the patient. It's not and that's not always correlated with like prestigious institutions. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. Like, just because people say this place is great does not mean it's great. You should probably verify it. And that's something I wish I checked when. Oh God, yeah, that's something that I look back and I'm like, I had no idea. I mean, when you're a new parent, you have no idea. But after your first and second rodeo, you definitely have some things in your head where you're like, okay, this is what I want. This is the people I want to be with. This is a type of birthing process I want. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a blast though. I'll say that. And the other big one is also mindset too. Make sure you don't, or rather, I think it's a dangerous pattern if you are speaking ill about fatherhood to other people. So a lot of time, so I remember when, I'm not saying like I'm the man, right? But I'm going to use a situation where I was the man. When I used to work at Blind Barber, one of the barbers was cutting my hair. And he's like, hey man, how's being a dad? I'm like, oh, it's great, I love it. He's like, wow. But he's like, oh, I just didn't expect to hear that. And I was like, why, what? He said, oh, most guys don't really like, being dads, or they don't, they always say, oh, it's so hard, or this or that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, like, I think talking ill of fatherhood to other people, I really think that's a bad mindset to go into. And it seems easy because that seems like, oh, that's what everyone wants to hear, but I don't really think you should do that. I think it's much better if you, even if you're lying, like, tell yourself, I love it. Mindset is very important, I think. So it's something to keep in mind for how you approach a lot of things, actually. But you can just start with parenthood. I think it's really important to have a good mindset about it, because you start believing what you say. So if you say you hate it, you start acting like you hate it, and then you actually do hate it. So what did Marcus say? So yeah, also hospital rankings can be arbitrary. So Marcus works and has been working in healthcare for a long time. Patient care experience should always be premium. Exactly. And you should pay extra for that. Any regrets? I actually don't have any regrets. I mean, there were things that I'll put it this way. There's things that I did I'm thrilled that I did, and sometimes I did it by accident. One, I'm happy I brought my camera. So make sure, I guess, but I'm a photographer, so that means a lot to me. But taking a photo of your wife holding your baby right after your baby's born is really cool to have that moment, because it's just such a raw moment and it's so rad. So I'm really happy I have those photos. There was, you know what? There was something I got at Prentice. I got bullied into catching Rocky. They're like, "Do you want to catch him?" I was like, "Oh, no. Like, you guys are pros. Like, I've been up for like, 18 hours. Like, I don't want to catch I'm really nervous about catching my kid." It's like, no, you should do it. You got to do it. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I was so anxious and so full of adrenaline. I didn't drop him, but I really felt uncomfortable about it. And they're like, no, don't hold him like that. Don't hold him like this. Don't hold him this way. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, I had no idea how to catch a baby. I'm like, you guys are pros. Like, why am I even paying you if I'm doing all the work here? And I'm not saying that, like, I'm doing the work. It's supposed to be is this symbolic, catching the kid? Like, what's like are we worried about symbolism when we have like $200,000 of equipment all around me? It's like the symbolism. It's like, maybe let's just focus on getting the kid out and healthy. He was in there for a long time. He was he was stuck in a birth canal for a little bit. So it's like, we're just going through pomp and circumstance for like some idiotic, or like I didn't want to. It was something that the nurses wanted me to do really badly, and I yielded. And I look back at that. I should have been firm about that. I should be like, no, I don't want to do that. You professionals catch my child, make sure that he's okay, and then I will hold my baby. And then no, but that's it. I mean, but checking into patient quality. What did Marcus call it? Quality of something. What did he put in here? Patient care experience. You should look into that. That is, well, you should look into that. That's the biggest thing. That to me is like, there's nothing more important than that. So, these questions are good. I'm thrilled. I did. Nina's like, hey, you should, because I'm doing this on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook right now. But Nina's like, oh, do Instagram Live too. Oh yeah. I'm shocked that there's this many people and interacting. This is way more interactive than Twitch and YouTube. People actually are talking. But I mean, the biggest thing is, I think, is being prepared and having the right mindset. If you can have the right mindset as a dad, I think it's really. I'm not going to tell women what to do, but I will tell dads what to do. If you can have the right mindset going into it and be psyched and like know what your role is and your position in the family organization, it's going to be a great time. Oh yeah, we made for Rocky. We made a birth plan. I don't even know if we made a birth plan for Jesse. I think we just kind of shot from the hip for Jesse. I mean, we knew we wanted an epidural. That was pretty much it. And we wanted to spend the least amount of time at the hospital for our second son. It's because we wanted to get back home. One, because we missed Rocky. We wanted to be back with our boy. But two, because we just like being at home. We know we would get better sleep at home. So, I mean, but if you're a big planner, I mean, so here's the problem about making plans. The problem with when you make a plan is that you might need to change the plan. So this is something about how your mind works when you have something codified and written down. When you write things down, like, this is my plan, when an option will come for you to be able to change that plan, your brain will say, no, that's not part of the plan, when in fact you have to actually change the plan. So I would just be mindful that when you're making your birth plan is to also be aware that this might have to change, all right, depending on, some like medical circumstances, or maybe there's time limitations, or maybe, I mean, who knows, equipment limitations, like who knows what's gonna happen, but like, there's no reliability within that on your plan. Like, your plan is a wish list, and if you can think of it as, if I can get these, great, or even think of it as like a bonus list. If I can get these things, great, but if not, that's okay. So the aspirational birth plan is probably how it should be framed. Cool. Oh yeah, Phil Kosh, what are you doing here? Thank you everyone for stopping by. I'm gonna do these I've been doing these every week on Twitch, but I'm gonna start adding them on IG Live. Not always about parenthood, but maybe they will be. I think a lot of dads, I'm telling you, I mean a lot of dads that, I'm not saying I'm the man, but I will say, I think a lot of guys need there's some help, some support and some encouragement on how to dad better. I don't like verbing words, but how to kind of step into a role that makes everyone respect you. I mean, that's what you want as a dad. You want to be respected, and there's ways to act and things to do that would make you respected, so that your family feels supported, and that so everyone knows that you are supporting your family in the correct and compassionate way. All right. Well, I think that's that. I think I'll call it here unless there's any more questions. What? It's almost 10 o'clock? Man, that's an hour long. I should do TED Talks, right? Like, beyond the actual corporate TED Talk. IG, thanks for stopping by, guys. It's been a blast. Twitch and YouTube will still be here. So if you guys want to keep talking, I'll be on Twitch and YouTube if you guys want to stop by. What is it? Twitch.tv/ Can I even type it in here? What are the options on this great little app here? Twitch.tv/Super Danger Game. I'll put it in the chat. Oh, not Super Danger Game, it's Super Danger Studios. Sorry. You get to look at me type. Isn't this interesting? Studios. You're expecting in November? Great. Congratulations. That's amazing. It's going to be great. Again, the biggest things are and I don't think you could see, but if you go onto my Twitch or my Facebook or my YouTube, like there's all these PowerPoints of the stuff that I was talking about earlier. And if you follow those rules, there's no way you won't have a good vibe for your wife and your child. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. The kid's gonna love it. Your wife's gonna love it. Okay. See you guys. Okay. Let's see. Oh, good night. New dads need help. New dads from a professional dad. Three years. See, that can be funny too. Sharing to Instagram, post a preview. Yeah. Advanced settings, what's this? No. There we go. Okay, Twitch. You guys want a game? Oh, really? That's funny. I mean, there are a lot of people on it.
I love how you're surprised that your platform with the most followers has viewers.
But still, like, people are joining like that.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's nice to be liked. Love you, babe. Okay, guys. Diego, should we try to figure this out? Gaming? A game world? How do I... Actually, Diego, let me just do this. I'm going to end the stream. And I'll just meet you in... I can play PUBG Mobile, but I'm just not going to stream it. How about that? That feels like a lot. It'll make a lot more sense. Right? Okay. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, guys. Thanks for stopping by.